All right, so I'm trying to make, let's see if this helps too. Trying to make a short video. I'm going to be doing a video of all the crystals in my home. I found 99% of them, crystals, rocks, like you can see here. And some of the places that I found them will blow your mind, like drainage ditches or walking like, desert fields. I'll show you. It's just awesome. But so instead of doing, they're going to be a long video series, probably maybe 2 parts. But I'm trying to do today is short videos of a couple unique ones. And these are the awesomest ones because I don't know what they are and where I found them, but they're so hard to get on camera. I tried years ago. It didn't work with my, what's it called? My tablet. Now I'm trying with my phone. This is like my 4th or 5th attempt. I tried different ways and different backgrounds in my kitchen. So now I'm going to try it here. This is where this one stays. So let me describe this before I try to go in and zoom in on this. So I found these on a railroad track and they look like crud, right? I mean, it's just some kind of, you know what tar is, or asphalt? That's what it looked like. But I noticed on one of them was, as you can see on the bottom between my fingers, that quartzy crystal look. Is it quartz? I don't know. And the reason I say I don't know if it's quartz is when I got it home and I cleaned them, I decided to put them in acid, and they started to eat away really, really, really slow. It wasn't like bubbling and fizzing. It took a long time. Now let me see. This one has, this ain't the one with the panel. Oh, actually it is. So right at the top there where my fingertip is barely showing, there's a crystal panel. It looks like quartz, but it's a panel. And when I say a panel, they're so small my camera doesn't focus. I'm going to try to find another one to show you. So there's crystally spots all in there, and I don't know what they are. They look like their own tiny little crystals. They're very, very strange looking. They don't look like quartz. And the panel is like a window pane, a perfect square. It's a perfect square. And they're really small, but you can kind of see it. Yeah, my camera's not good, but there's something even more incredible about this. Not this one particular, because I couldn't acid bathe it anymore, else it will fall apart. You can see the dust falling on my fingers still. I did this years ago. Here's a panel. Let's see if I can show you. So right at the edge of my fingertip, in the middle, is a panel. Let's see if this will focus. You see how it's skinny there, and then it turns. Well, let me show you this one, because this one isn't done all the way, and I don't know if I'm going to do it. So I didn't know what this was. This was the same kind of rock that I just showed you. It had all this white powder on it, like white powdery stuff, but it had sort of a glaze. And I thought, man, it's interesting, like seashell pattern. I don't know what it is. So when I put it in acid, the first ones, I said, oh, this whole thing is going to be like that. So can you see the pattern? Like, think of like, a shell. Here, I got a perfect example. Okay. So what you're going to see is this pattern, but it's not going to bow. It's going to be more straight. And that's what you're going to see in these. This one is incredible. So I'm going to try to get it focused. Now, I don't know if they're quartz. It might be something called Okenite. A guy in the shop showed me Okenite, and there are these white fluffy powder, but this is not really like white fluffy powder. This is like dry out sand grit. It's really strange when the acid hit it. What's left is rods of crystals. They look like spears because they're pointed at the end, like a needle, like a sewing needle, and then they're pointed at the end, and they're hollow, and they're incredibly tiny and fragile, and when that stuff dissolves, that's what's left. So think of a whole bunch of like finger looking things, right? Like spears, all lined up, packed in together. They're going to go this way, they're going to go this way, and they make these patterns like this in each direction. So like that. And they're bundled and laid down, and somehow the earth puts that white stuff and seals them all off. I would have never known it if I didn't put it in acid. Now, what's interesting is I found these on a railroad track, but I found these on another section in a railroad track. Now check this out. I never put this in acid, and I'm not going to. I assume that it's a piece of calcite. It's kind of thick and heavy. I think there might be quartz in it. This stuff in here is solid, and I think it's like quartzy. But I know that it's calcite, the rest of this stuff. Now, if you can see here, here's that seashell design. Oh, let's see. Ah, come on, man, my camera. Well, you kind of can see it. I see it perfectly, but the camera don't. You can kind of see it. They look like the same. They look like rods, just a little bit more glazed over. And obviously, it's all crystal, this whole thing. There's none of that white sand stuff. And this is a raw piece I found on a railroad track. Now, here's another example. You can see them a little bit better in here. So you see how this is put together, like that rod-like structure, that seashell-like structure. Let's see here without damaging anything. Come on, camera. Let's see something. That brought a little bit more light. Too much light is bad, and then not enough light. See, there you go. Kind of see that. And this, I think, is calcite too. And it has that same seashell-like structure. Now, let's get to focusing on this. Okay, now I need to move it with my hands. Let's hope it doesn't go out of focus. So they're running upwards, and they're running everywhere. And it's like a wave motion. So again, this is the piece that I stopped doing because I don't want them to fall out and lose them. It looks like a seashell, as you can tell. And you can see the crystally rod formation under it. And they're packed. There's got to be a million of them in there. They're barely starting to come out because I don't want to lose them all. I want to take this to somebody who knows geology and all this. So I just wanted to be able to show you with this one. There it is. You see the pattern? They're fanned out. They're all rods. They're all crystal rods. And you see how it goes down like a roller coaster and back up? It's absolutely amazing what the earth can do. Now, I want to try to show you what they look like when they're exposed. Let's see. They're probably sticking up 1/8 of an inch. There's a ton of them. Look in this section here. My camera doesn't focus when there they go. Oh. See them? There's tons of them. Let me see if I can get those focused. This is better than the kitchen, at least. If I showed you this in the kitchen, you'd be like, this guy's nuts. I don't know what the heck he's talking about. So they're just sticking up. You can just see the shine. Now, they're absolutely gorgeous and perfect. They're like the perfect crystals. They have no flaws in them. Hold on one second. And the other sparkles that you see are those panels. Let's see if I can get the top part of it. Because the hole in the middle has a ton of them too. Let's see if I turn it over on an angle. The bottom, you can be so careful because of they're delicate. Okay, so if you look towards the top, you can see them sticking out. There it goes a little bit. They are so delicate. There you go. All right, hold on. I got to put this down for a second. Now, if I can get this to focus. Sorry about the camera. Oh, come on. They're so thin and tiny. But I think you can see the ones at the top. I wish I could. Let's see if this works. Okay, wait. Trust me, there's hundreds of them there. If you saw it with your own eyes or a magnifying glass, you'd be amazed. Hold on one second. Ah, dang it. It's such a shame because they're so gorgeous. And to find something like this, you find something that looks like some cruddy rock, right? You're not sure. You think, I'm going to throw this in acid. See if there's any hidden crystals or something in it. And then let me show you this real quick. Up here. In the light, maybe. All right. Let me move on to this guy here. So in the middle there's more of those spiky crystals. But again, they're smaller than the other ones, so they're not going to pick up. What I wanted to try to show you was in the middle right here is directly in the middle is one of those panels. It looks like a pane of glass. And at the top it has a slight arrow look to it. I don't know what it is. It doesn't look like quartz. So let me just end it with this then. Real quickly there. Now if I can stay there. I'm glad if you watch this. If anybody knows this, there you go. You can see them all the way to the top right. And again, they would be about a ½ inch long if I started to acid them more. But as they are bundled, like I showed you in this one, they're bundled. I don't want them to fall out. And like I said, if you held this in your hand and you looked at it and then in a magnifying glass, you would know why I think this is so awesome. That being said, I found them on a railroad track, and to discover that and to take it to a geology, a crystal shop, and he has no idea. And the closest thing we came, what would be looking like a cotton ball with those same spears shooting up, it's called Okenite. But I don't think that's what this is. So can you imagine just picking this up and saying, there's a little tiny crystal part on the bottom. No big deal, chucking it right out. I happened to, in the beginning of my rock hounding searching 5 years ago on the railroad track, I just took it out for fun. I collected them just for fun to throw them in the acid. And again, that one, has the same design. I just can't unpack it anymore. So to discover that, without even thinking anything's going to happen other than it's going to crumble and maybe something's hidden inside, like, I don't know, iron pyrite or something, and to find that, isn't that amazing? Like, isn't that awesome what nature can do? Now, if they were a little bit bigger, and, I could get my camera to focus to show you how truly they are. I'm going to try to take pictures of them. At least I can send a picture to my family to show them how awesome it is. But other than that, and again, why I have you here, this was railroad track. Let's see if I can get a good shot of this. That's railroad track. It's a nice yellow color. It's beautiful. And that's railroad track. And again, you can see the fiber spheres that are packed. This one's not this is more like whole crystal with ridges compared to the packed ones, but you can see the striations in some of them. So you never know what you find when you go out there. This video is a little longer, but I knew it would take time to try to focus that in. Let's see if I can get one last closing shot. Oh, maybe. Oh, there's so many, and you can only see the top two all the time. Well, I hope you find it fascinating and awesome. And if you know what it is, please do let me know. The shell seems to be some kind of cross between a chalcedony. Oh, see, that's a panel right there is a panel. Had it focused before. See how it has a slight arrowhead to it? It's literally like a pane of glass. So I don't know what that is, if it's quartz or not. Obviously, anything that didn't dissolve in the acid, is anything but a carbonate. Now, the reason there's pieces missing is because it wasn't formed solid. There was like the white stuff, then more of the crystal stuff, and more of the white stuff, so that would fall off. As you can tell, the rest of the crystally type stuff doesn't do it in acid. And there's that panel again on the bottom. You can see that. All right, well, a lot longer than I thought, but hopefully, before I go, let me just try to do this one time here. Like I just did this, to see if that will come in and show better. see right in there and all in there. Man, I'm afraid to take it down anymore because they might start falling out. If they start falling out, then I lose basically the whole cool shape of it because there is in so many different ways here. Oh, that's a good view right here. All right, that's it. Long enough, I guess. If you watched it the whole way through, thank you. And again, let me know what you might think of those things. All right, bye-bye. Oh, bye-bye.